This is Tara from Lysa, and I am going to answer your questions that you posted today on our Facebook page. Hopefully in a non-boring and informative manner. We'll see. First of all, let me just mention the Cold LP is available for pre-sale right now. And when you order that, you also get a free download for a track from Quiet Moments, which will be out August 20th, 2013. And if you go to handmadebirds.com and sign up to their mailing list, you will get information about that stuff as it starts coming out. There is going to be a limited number of physical CDs for Quiet Moments. So you might want to get that information ahead of time if you want to pre-order. But otherwise, you can just get the digital downloads also. What else? I have a couple. I look hideous on this video. Seriously? Oh, okay. Anyways, let me just go answer your questions. This is stressing me out, man. Okay, so have you ever attempted to create atmospheric metal? The answer is no. For no other reason that's just not, I guess, our style of music, but it would be interesting and kind of cool, but no, we have not attempted that and probably won't just because it's not our style. Let's see, how do you make it to be perfect? Your music saved me. First of all, thank you for being nice. Perfect obviously is not in our vocabulary. We would never think that something we created was perfect because all we hear is things that we wish we could have changed in past releases, and you know, we're a little probably too entrenched in it to see what you see in it. But thank you very much. How did you and Mike meet and decide to do music together? Back a trillion years ago, before the internet existed and text messages and all of that, I actually had pen pals that you actually wrote letters to. And one of my friends, Matt, sent me a dubbed copy of Ionia, and when I heard the music, it just struck me so profoundly that I knew I had to contact this person who made this music. And I wrote to Matt, and the only contact information he had was for Project Records. So I wrote to Project and asked for contact information. And Sam actually wrote me back and gave me Mike's address. So we started corresponding, and at the time I was also in a band, and it was really just very raw, and sent him our demo tapes and stuff. And he was beginning to record Burning Circle with Dave, and he had 2 tracks that he wanted me to like try to put some lyrics and melody to, and invited me out to Arizona, and I sang on those 2 songs, and they became Nimble and Surrender. And after that we did the Burning Circle tour, and I just kind of stuck around, and of course obviously we had a relationship at that point, so it was really just kind of trial and error. But I will say fan letters sometimes pay off, so never be afraid to send somebody a fan letter, but don't be a creepy stalker about it, which I probably was a creepy stalker, but apparently it worked, so whatever. Would you blah blah, I won't read that little snarky comment. Do you plan on touring Europe? No. Doing the whole live thing was always very stressful because we could never translate live what we wanted to, and we had a lot of sound problems that we just never were able to get ironed out. and it really started to kind of change the way Mike approached recording, because in his head he would think, now how am I going to do this song live? So he really would torture himself about this, and even to this day, every once in a while, the inkling to go play a show crosses his mind, but he always puts it back in the back recesses of his mind, because it's just too much. It's distracting from really what's important, and that's creating music. So no, we will not be playing any shows anywhere, and I would probably bet money that will never happen again, which is probably to everybody's benefit. But we have very little time to devote to music, so the focus more is about recording and creating music. And Mike has a lot of plans in the future, not only with recording new material, but also revisiting some of the older stuff. So but that's a lot of information that's just kind of being worked out now. So but let's see, what else is your question? What top 5 bands float my boat? It's hard for me to pick 5, but the Black, what are the chances of this? I have my Pandora on and a freaking ad comes on. That's lame. Okay, but anyways, let's see, the Black Mirror album is really awesome. I've been listening to that a lot since I downloaded it. Been listening to a lot of 1940s music in the car. Right now Conway Twitty's playing. Just, I don't know, White Lies I like a lot. The same old stuff I've always liked: Godflesh, Swans, Killing Joke, Joy Division, Seizing the Banshees, just all the same stuff I've liked for the last 15 or 20 years. I'm not like a massive music collector. I know what I like when I hear it, but I'm not one of those rabid fan type people that go on the hunt for new music all the time. So unless it accidentally crosses my path, I don't hear of it. So that's one of the things I really like about Pandora, because you're exposed to things you might not otherwise hear. And also one of the cool things about Facebook, because people send you things, or you just happen to see something. So anyways, so yeah, I guess that's kind of a crappy answer, but that's my answer. Let's see, what else? Jeez, little fights on here. What made you guys start getting more active under Lycia again? Basically, it's, Mike has been working on Quiet Moments for 6 years. It's been an ongoing thing trying to get this album done, and of course people know we had a baby, and he's 21 months old now, so whenever we're not working, he's the bulk of our time is spent with him. And so music and writing time, it consists of late at night and random snippets of time that we can get to piece together. Mike has a lot of plans, and Quiet Moments is coming out in August, and then in the fall we're gonna start recording Mike, Dave, and I another Lycia album. And Mike has plans for the old releases also. There's a lot going on, but as a reason to why, it's just necessity, I guess, because it's something that just feel the need to do. Come to Rome, please. I would absolutely love to come to Rome, but not to play a show. Sorry. I'll sing a song for you if I ever get there. Let's see, why the name Lycia? Mike has a degree in geography, and one of his areas of interest was always like ancient Greece, Greek mythology, that sort of thing. So it was just something that struck him at the time, and that's why he chose that name. Let's see, what inspired you to make your music the way it sounds, so dreamlike yet completely real? Time and space, emotions, trying to get across your emotions and how a certain moment in time or a certain place makes you feel. For myself, I do use a lot of dream imagery in my writing, whether it's music or actual like writing novels and stuff. It's immensely important to me, and I know for Mike, time and place is immensely important to him, and trying to recreate the emotion of a time and a place. And a lot of times that comes across as dreamy. Thank you for your comment, Renee, on the live album. I also agree that that's a great album, but Mike doesn't like that one. Any video available? Shout out to David Slaya Smith for all the videos that he has made. He's spent countless hours making videos, and that's awesome. We do have a video in the works right now for a song for Quiet Moments, but I'm going to kind of keep that information quiet for the time being, just because I want to wait till it's more realized, and then of course we'll be sharing all that information. Have you guys ever listened to Dead Can Dance? Of course. Of course. La 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 la. More questions about live shows. Nope, no live shows. Did Mike use VST instruments for the music, and when yes, which ones? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. Sorry, John. Maybe send him a message privately, but I don't know if he'll answer it because he's not online a whole lot. But I honestly don't know the answer to that question, and I'm sorry that I didn't get it for you. How does the recording writing process begin? Basically, Mike decides it's time to work on music, and he either starts on a guitar, or usually it starts electronically, where he goes in to the computer and just starts working on the electronic side of things, and then flushes it out from there. If I'm going to be singing on something, I don't get to hear it until it's almost done. And then I get a track to work with and go from there. What is Lysia's main source of inspiration? Like I said earlier, it's basically time and space, the emotions attached to time and space, dream imagery. A lot of times for me, I'll be someplace and just the way something looks strikes a chord in me, and I'm sure it's the same for Mike as well. A lot of times he's trying to capturing things from his past, or ideas. Like he's really into speculative archaeology and that sort of thing, so sometimes it's kind of trying to capture that kind of ideal, I don't know, whatever, you know what I'm saying. I think, I hope. I suck at this. What mental emotional state were you in when you wrote Cold? Well, that's going to be 3 different answers for 3 different people. I can say for myself that I was pretty happy at that time period. There was tension in the band. Everybody had their issues going on, and we all lived together at the time. It was a very cold winter, and the studio overlooked, we lived on the 3rd floor, and it overlooked a field with woods behind it, and I just remember recording and it being so stark because it was so cold, and we had a lot of snow, and the mood in the house was also very icy at that time, but I think it really added to the emotional state of the album. And Mike talks about this, that at the time he thought that the album was a complete and total failure, didn't even listen to it until it came out on CD, but now in retrospect he thinks it's his favorite of our releases. I have different favorites because they all mean something completely different to me and represent different pieces of time. I think Cold might be the best, but then I don't know, I can't pick. I honestly can't pick. I think they're all cool in their way, just for what they represent. I would love to come to Belgium, not to play a show, but just to come to Belgium. But I don't know if that will ever happen. I hope so. How different was it from the Burning Circle and then Dust? very different for me because I was barely involved in the Burning Circle and the Dust. But actually, Mike and I just recently talked about this, and Start Corner was a very dark period for Mike. So then when he started working with Dave, the Burning Circle sessions was a different time period. I think you can hear it in the music. And it was a good time for them. Then Cold happened, and a whole lot of things happened in between the Burning Circle and then Cold. A move from Arizona to Ohio. He and I got together, and then there was the tension in the band and blah blah blah. But it was a good time period. I think just listening to the Burning Circle and then Dust compared to Cold, you can feel the difference in mindset and maybe what was going on in people's lives at the time. Will there be any more vinyl issues of Lysa albums in the future? Hopefully. Probably. But since those aren't in the works as of right now, I'm not going to say definitely, but probably, hopefully, assuming there's interest in it. Why no more live shows? Because they just always, it really distracted from what Mike wanted to do with Lysa. Mike never intended Lysa to be a live band in the first place, and then it happened and we got sort of sucked into it. And while I personally loved going on the road and meeting people and going to different places, it was always like a real struggle because Mike is an absolute perfectionist, and we just couldn't create live what he wanted us to create, given our limitations. But we had some amazing experiences, and some really awful experiences. But by and large, it was a cool period of time, and I missed that period of time, but it's just not feasible for us anymore, with Mike's health situation, being older, having a child, and just the technical aspects of trying to pull off a show. It's just not going to happen. What is the inspiration behind From Foam and Nothing? I actually asked Mike this earlier because I wanted to have an answer. From Foam was inspired by the myth of Aphrodite rising from the foam, and him being interested in that time in Greek mythology. He actually doesn't like the versions of that song that are available, which I don't even know if they're available anymore, but the versions of that song that were released are not his favorite version of that song. There was a more raw version of it that he liked a lot better, but it just the recording was too raw, I guess, to release. What is your most favorite album from your albums and why? I already answered that question earlier. I'm gonna say, I guess, Ionia, because that's the one that personally changed my life, but they're all, obviously mean something in their own way. Would there be any way to purchase your albums from a music store, at least from independent music stores? Yeah, they can order them for you. I don't think music stores operate the same way they used to, in that, I don't know. They can be ordered, but whether or not there's an interest for that, I have no idea. When people can just go online now and order whatever they want, I think a lot of record stores aren't going to carry a wee tiny little band, Lysa, when there's not a vast need for it. So you could ask them to order it for you, though, and they should be able to. Although there's not a whole lot of physical CDs left, as far as I know. Howdy from Colorado. Well, howdy from Arizona. Where do you find the inspiration for your music and lyrics? What are your dreams like? Your words and music, blah, blah, blah. Well, thank you very much, Joseph, for the kindness. I talked a little bit earlier about the inspiration of time and place and emotional ties to that. And I have very, very vivid dreams. They're like movies. I had a really freaking weird one night before last. about zombies and stabbing people in the eye, and I just have really vivid dreams, and use a lot of that for writing. In fact, the first, well, pretty much all my books have been, the books that I've written have been inspired by dreams that I had. And I could go on for days on this topic because it fascinates me, but dream imagery is very important to me. And I like the concept of alternate dimensions and that sort of thing. So to me, when you're dreaming, you're someplace else, and that fascinates me. So what are my dreams like? Very peculiar, but very entertaining. Will there be a vinyl edition of Day in the Stark Quarter? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully yes, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. Do you remember playing a gig with Grave Dance in Philly many, many moons ago? I do remember playing a gig with Grave Dance. For some reason, though, I was thinking it was in Baltimore. Who was in Baltimore? I thought that was Grave Dance that was in Baltimore. Or maybe both places? But I do remember that because I remember that you guys had lots of makeup on. And that was entertaining. Yes, I do remember that. And I hope you're doing well. Let's see. I guess I don't have any more questions on here. Let's see. Let me just scan back through here and make sure I didn't miss anybody. There was a different question on here earlier, but it seems to be missing now. Yeah, I don't see anything else. I think I got them all. I hope you guys weren't too bored by this. It's kind of lame, I guess. But anyways, go friend us on Facebook, so you can keep updated on what's going on. And send me a friend request and talk to me, because I enjoy meeting all of you. And go sign up for the mailing list at handmadebirds.com. And I will see you again soon. Bye.